So we have Alexander Woods from Raymond High School in Mississippi, a quarterback from the class of 2027. So we're on this huddle. We're going to check out his film listed 6'1", 184. We'll check out his Twitter here in a second. But first, I want to look at film. We're just going to go ahead and jump in. So right now, here's my thing. Let's make sure we keep our pinned anything up to date. So this is from last season, which would have been sophomore season. All right, you're 3 games into your junior year. Let's go ahead and get that situated and get that updated to be your most recent. Okay, you want everything that's pinned to be your most recent, or at least be recent enough. So, all right, we're gonna look at highlights. Go to newest, and 4 months ago, 15 days, 8 days, 4 days. Okay, so 3 games worth of highlights. There should be a 1 through 3, and that's what should be pinned. Okay, we want to do that 1 through 3. But looking at these, we're going to look at this one. All right, let's see what we got. All right, so first thing that I want to start with is, at this point, I think I've kind of made it clear that I'm more of a fan of having a title page, like how you have with that one that's pinned. Do a title page. Do one for each highlight. Obviously, this should be week 1 through 3, so it should be the group highlights of your first 3 weeks of film. But do a title page. It's just it's a good way to embed, a business card, so to speak. Like, you have the film, which is like your resume, and typically on a resume you have contact information. It has your name and all that stuff. It has all that important information: name, contact, obviously position, height, weight for this situation, grade year or graduating year, and then a way to get a hold of you. So email or Twitter is my go-to. Some people will say phone number. I don't necessarily think that kids need to put their phone numbers up on Huddle, but yeah, you should at the very least. I mean, and if your phone number's in your bio on your Twitter, then fine, put your phone number on there. It's not, I'm not saying you can't do it. Just saying, have a title page, name, position, high school, graduating year, height, weight, and then a way to contact you. All right, and then we did see a highlighting marker on the quarterback. Cool thing about being a quarterback, it's the one position that you kind of get leeway to where you can do it once and you don't have to do it again. You don't even have to do it at all. Because you're the quarterback, we kind of know who you are and where you'll be, unless you're going to line up somewhere where you're not lining up in your traditional spot. So let's say if you're doing some play where you're lining up out wide or something like that, then you can switch that up. But yeah, so that's just it's not the end of the world if you decide that you want to highlight yourself all the time. It's perfectly fine, but you don't have to. Okay, so let's watch this most recent. Not bad. I was just checking to see if you got music, so I don't see anything. It's a good little scramble play. Okay, out route. 2 outs, so an out and a hitch. Not bad. That throwing motion, something I'm not seeing. Okay, deep ball. All right, so before we keep going, I'm gonna back up a little bit. So, good athlete, right? Now right here, again, you don't have to highlight yourself every time, but right here, nice spiral. You throw a nice spiral. There's no velocity on that ball. At least on film, like it doesn't look like there's a lot of velocity on these balls. So be careful with that. If you're playing against a team that's got some top tier corners, that first one Could have easily been a pick. Good ball. Good ball. I would like to see more arm strength, but junior year, so I get it. Should be nice run to the outside. That should be your first play. So far, that's the best play in this, and that should be your first play. Another out. Yeah, competition level, depending on where you're at, that could be a pick, right? And that's just strictly a velocity thing. You throw a really nice spiral though. Good size, 6'1", 185. You could have cut that clip off. After your receiver catches it, you could cut it off. I think we'll watch one more, just because not having it as a 3-game highlight, I want to at least watch one more. So we'll watch these two. Let's watch this Crystal Springs one. And okay, now we know who you are. And pre-snap, not post-snap, pre-snap. Okay, a quick little scramble like that, pre-snap. You could have ran for that, but you didn't. You threw it and got the first and then some. I actually really like that play. Good decision. Yeah, I just want to see a little bit more zip on those balls. Especially that's a lot of green to cover. That's a whole lot of ground for that ball to cover. We want to see some velocity on those throws. You go up in competition. I mean, that's a corner's dream. Not bad. Good little run. Design QB. Probably should have been an earlier play, for sure. You ran a touchdown, so I would suggest that could have been your first play. That's a good one. It's a good little run. Good athlete. Good athlete. Let's see. And again, if you don't highlight yourself, if you just do it once, the first play, and then don't do it again, you're perfectly fine unless you line up somewhere else. It's a weird play. These are going too long. Cut that off. After the receiver makes the catch, maybe takes 1 or 2 steps, you can turn it off. Go to the next, like that. Just go to the next clip. We saw what we need to see. Another solid run. Okay, so like I said, we'll end up going to your Twitter here in a second. So, yeah, really good athleticism. One thing that I think the biggest thing for me is velocity and arm strength, at least from what I was able to see on those 2 highlights. We kind of want to get up on, let's just get some zip on those balls. I want to see them come out faster. There's also, you know what? We'll go back. There's also this, where is it? Newest. I think it's this one, where there's like a methodical throwing motion that you have. It's not bad, but it's not quick. It's got a slow tempo to it, and I think that has a lot to do with these throws. So watching this one, it's just it's like you're going through certain motions when you don't have to. This ball should, you should have already have been set to throw this and probably already released, right? We want to see these quick throws, especially when you're talking about throwing far. And you've had some where you're throwing from one hash to the wide side of the field. We get here, and This one, not so much as like this one, where you get here and then it's almost like it's like a muscle memory thing. Like you're not moving at a tempo that I think should be fast enough in quick game. All right, that ball should have been out before that, because a more elite corner, that's more than likely already broke on, and that's six, right? Like, unless he's a slow corner, that's six. I don't think you'll catch him either. So just keep that in mind. Nice spiral though. You throw a nice spiral. But I think that's my biggest takeaway from just breaking down what I'm seeing. I'm not necessarily trying to break down the players in these film reviews. This is more so about film structure. And so, let's make sure we get our best plays at the beginning. Don't put these in order, in chronological order, in timeline order. They need to be best plays first. And out of this film, this is your best play. Getting the edge and hitting the pylon. Like, that's, to me, that's the best play that was on here. And then some other solid ones. But definitely want to see some velocity on these throws. And I think, let's check your Twitter. Let's go about. I like that your Twitter is here and LinkedIn here. That's awesome. That's exactly where it should be. Again, you're a really good athlete. I think if you can show some improvement and growth and development on arm strength and velocity, that's gonna help you out in recruiting as a quarterback. I'm not one of those people who is quick to be like, oh, this player won't play quarterback at the next level. I don't believe that. There are places that are going to try to turn you into into a running back or something like that. They'll want you to be more of an athlete. But if you want to play quarterback at the next level, you're going to definitely have to work on that arm strength and the velocity on your throws. But again, you're a class of 27, so this is your junior year, so you have time to develop. So let's check your Twitter account. Yeah, so this is solid. Like right here, I mean, this is what could be in your title page. And it could be all of this if you really wanted to on that title page. One thing that I'll recommend is getting rid of this. And I get it, it's a nickname, but the easier it is to find you, the better. And sometimes, depending on, if what network you're in on social media and the way that I guess, I don't know, the way that coding works on any type of app or anything like that, sometimes having this makes it hard to type in your name and for you to pop up. So get rid of this. The only times that I think that this is perfectly fine is if you actually go by a name other than your name. Like if your name is difficult to pronounce, so you go by initials, or if your first name isn't necessarily the name you use. Like sometimes people use their middle name as their first name, and so they might have it here, but on their transcripts is their first and their last name. So usually though, if it's a nickname, I'll say get rid of that. And then the other thing is here. This is a sophomore season highlight. You have 3 junior games under your belt. This should not be up here. There's no reason to have last year's film pinned. Your sophomore season is not as relevant as the first 3 games of your junior season. So make a 1 through 3 highlight and pin it up here. But yeah, not bad. I think you're a talented player. I think Alexander Woods is a talented player. I would like to see what the next 3 games look like. I really want to see some improvement in the arm strength and velocity on your throws. But other than that, though, solid film. You actually have really good film. You just gotta cut it up into a 1 through 3 week, or game 1 through 3 highlight, and then pin it up here and push it out. Good work.